How can I generate a list of people who have logged in this month and the previous month? Hello, I'm Philip Burton of IDUdata.com. So here we can see on screen a simple script which gives me a user ID and a login date. I want a list of all of those users who have logged in a particular month and in the previous month. So for June, we have got user 1 having logged into June and May. For July, again, it's just user 1. So user 2 logged in June but didn't log in May or July, so he won't appear there. And user 3 didn't log in June. So for August, we're going to have users 1, 2, and 3, except user 2 didn't log in July, so it'll just be 1 and 3. And finally for September, we're going to get users 2 and 3. User 1 didn't log in September. So if you want to try this as a practice activity, then all of this script, including the select statement right at the end, is included in the description to this video. Good luck. Right, so let's have a look at how we can do this. So we've got these user IDs and these logins, and I want to find out who has logged in a particular month. Now there's one complication in that users can log in more than once in a particular month, so we need a way around that. So let's have a look. First of all, we need the user ID, and let's have the year of the login and the month of the login. We don't care about the day in this particular scenario. So let's execute that, and we can see we've got the same information as before, but this time we've got the year and the month separated. We have got two ID user 1s for July 2023. So the easiest way to get rid of those is to put the word distinct. You could also use a group by if you so wished. So now we only have one login for ID user 1 for the month of July 2023. So now we've got this, we need to find who logged into a particular month. So that can be done using a where. So where the login year is equal to 2023 and the login month is equal to 7, for example. Except we can't use the login year and login month at this level in the where clause because the select clause gets calculated, evaluated later on. So I need to put in the year and the month as formulas. So this tells me, okay, for this particular month, we've got login 1 and 3. So what happened the next month? We've got logins, ID users 1, 2, and 3. So what we want to do for this particular month is find out, okay, who logged in the previous month. So you could say where the login year is equal and where the login month just differs by 1. The problem is when we get to December, January, then the year changes. So we then have to do something different for the end of the year. So instead of that, what I'm going to do is to put in a rolling number of months. So number of months since the year 1 AD, for instance. So we put in the year and multiply that by 12 because there's 12 months in a year, and the month. So this is my login calc. So if I copy this down, you'll see that in July, we've got a figure of 24,283. In August, 24,284. So now our where is equal to, okay, the ID user has to be the same and the login calculation has to vary by 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into a CTE, into a query which is just being used by this one query. So I say with my table as, and then an open bracket and an end bracket at the end, and then select star from my table. So that just gives me my query here as a new query. But the good thing about this now is that I can use things like where login year. I don't have to use where the year of the login. So if I run that now, you can see that works. Now you may be wondering, what are these squiggly underlines? Well, wherever you have a with, you need to precede the previous statement with a semicolon. And now these squiggles should disappear. So I've got this table here, and I can say where the login year is equal to something and the login month is equal to something. So now I want this to be in another table. So I want this, if I union this, these two elements to talk to each other. And I can do this with two separate tables. So if I say select everything from my table as table 1 and join that with exactly the same table, my table as table 2. So what's the similarities that I want? Well, I say that I want the IDUser to be the same. So I can say t1.IDUser equals t2.IDUser. And secondly, I want the login calculation to be one different. So you'll know about equality joins. So this is where you have the equal sign and the same field or similar fields on both sides. Well, we can do something that's still an equality join. So where we have t1.logincalc equals t2logincalc, but we can do a formula. So where t1logincalc is equal to t2logincalc minus 1. So we've got one table which contains July, one table that contains August, August minus 1. So let's run this and see what happens. So now we have got T1 and T2 with the correct users and the correct months, 1 month apart. So we've got June here, July here. So we don't have a September for user 1 because he wasn't there or she wasn't there. We don't have a row for user 2 apart from September because user 2 was only there in June, August and September, and so on. So our answer therefore is t2.IDUser and t2.loginyear and t2.loginmonth, because we want to know whether they were there in a particular month and the previous month, so we're taking the later of those tables. So that gives me the answer that ID1 was there in June, July, August and in the previous months. User 2 was there in September and the previous month, and user 3 was there in August and September and the previous month. Now, do you have another answer? There's probably many more than one way to do this. If so, why not put them in the comments to this video? If you like this video, then please click the like button and then subscribe and click that bell. That way you'll be notified of any new videos. There's also a playlist full of practice exercises if you want more exercises like this. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Philip Burton of IDUdata.com, and keep learning.